Hey guys, welcome back to Bearware the Terrible. Today we have a new deck for you called the Moana Majesty, featuring our Kingler and Kingdra. So Kingler has the Bubbles Galore attack, allowing you to search your deck for 5 water energy, attach it to your Pokemon in any way you like, and then shuffle your deck afterwards for only 1 energy cost, 1 water energy. So we're trying to attach as many energies, get it into play as fast as possible, and then all we need to do is attack with Kingler, wait for it to get knocked out for Deep Sea King to activate, because this ability allows you to reattach all of your water energy from your active Pokemon, any amount of water energy from that Pokemon. If it gets knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you get to reattach all of those energies onto your Kingdra if they are water type energies. So water energy gets to be reattached. If it's Aurora energy, you get to reattach them as well. You can't actually attach Spiral or Rapid Strike just because it's not a Rapid Strike Pokemon. So we are trying to get as many water energies into play with Kingler, and then all we need to do is evolve this card as many of our Kingdras as possible, and then Manaphy is going to help us protect Kingdra from a bench knockout. If they knock out Kingler on the bench, we can't actually use this ability. So this ability doesn't work if Kingler gets knocked out on the bench. If any of our Pokemon with a lot of energies get knocked out on the bench, we cannot activate this ability. If it gets knocked out with special conditions or damage counters as well, we cannot use Kingdra for the ability. So that's why we have so many power damage counter cards like Rapidash, Mimikyu VMAX. So all of those cards is going to destroy this deck just because the ability has restrictions. So there's a lot of restrictions nowadays. I suppose that's why the game is so interesting now, but it's much more confined though. You have less freedom in a lot of sense in the standard format. So let's get we also have 1 Lumineon in this deck. Lumineon V helps us search our deck for any supporter card and then put it into our hand. We have 1 Crobat to help us draw cards if we get stuck with a bad hand. So playing those 2 cards actually is bad just because we are playing a VMAX already. That means all they need to do is boss order a V card on the bench and then knock out 1 Kingdra, and they can actually collect all 6 prizes for the win after killing our first Kingler VMAX, which is our main attacker. And then we can actually attack with this card as well. GMAX Pincer doing 240 damage, and then damaging yourself, placing doing 30 damage to itself after attacking your Pokemon for only 3 energy. So you actually want to be attaching all 5 if you're using Bubbles Galore, or you can actually use Falling Bubbles first if you go second, and if it's your first turn, if you can attack with this card, you can actually flip a coin. So I initially had this card with Glimwood Tangle. The initial list is with Glimwood Tangle instead of having our VMAX, just because we are saving our the amount of prize that our opponent is taking. If they knock out our Kingler, they only draw 2 prizes. Whereas if they knock out our VMAX, they're drawing 3 prizes, and we only have one Kingdra. If they boss or knock out a Crobat, we only have 1 Kingdra to play. So that's super bad. If they draw their prize fast enough, we're done. So if we if we play Kingler though, they actually need to knock out 2 Kingdras, because 1 Crobat is not enough. They need another Kingdra or another Lumineon. So obviously if you play nothing but Kingler V, if you don't have a VMAX in your deck, don't bench 2 V cards. Don't give them that extra V card for the knockout. Obviously they're going to play a lot of boss orders in their deck, because standard format is kind of expected with shady dealings and all of those tournament ready decks. We want to be restricting the amount of cards, restricting the amount of prize that they can take with each knockout, and playing as many Kingdra as possible, doing as high damage with this card as possible. So if we have 6 energies in play, after using this attack, we can actually attach 1 energy at a time to satisfy our high damage attack, to satisfy the knockout attack cost. So the attack cost is very low, but the cost to knock out a Pokemon is quite high. We need 8 energies to knock out a VMAX, 320 damage. We need 9 energies to knock out a high HP VMAX like 330 HP, or with Big Charm or Heat Energy attached to them. Single Strike Bomber Snow as well. So we need at least 8 energies in play. So 6 plus 1 plus another one on the next turn. So we need 2 extra turns after using Bubbles Galore, but that's okay because Kingler has high HP, can actually survive quite long. Another 1 turn at least to attach up to 7 energies before you get to reattach them to your Kingdra, and then all you need is evolve another Kingdra while attacking with this first one. And then on your next Kingdra, you would already have 8 energies attached to that. Then you can do your boss order, knock out a VMAX. We have 1 copy of boss order in this deck, 1 escape rope as well. So knock out a VMAX with 8 energies, 320 HP, 320 damage with this attack. Aqua Burst, very strong card. We have 4 copies of Horsea, 4 Kingdra, and 2 Seadra. We also have 4 Rare Candies and 4 Incense to help us evolve fast. We have only 2 Kingler and Kingler VMAXs. A lot of ways of summoning our basic Pokemon. So 3 level balls for Horsea and Manaphy. We have 3 quick balls for our Kingler V. We have 3 VIP passes and 2 Ultra Ball for either our evolution or our basic Pokemon. So 3 VIP, 3 quick balls, and 2 Ultra Ball for Kingler. That's 8, a total of 8 cards for Kingler to show up. Just because we have only 2 copies, we need a lot of cards to summon this card. We also need a lot of ways to summon multiple copies of Horsea on the bench to start with early on so that we get to Rare Candy Evolve, stage to evolve it as fast as possible. That's what we want to achieve with this deck. Get our Kingler VMAX to do bubbles galore as fast as possible, evolve as many Kingdras as fast as possible. That's the only thing we need to worry about. And then all we need to do after that is to wait for Kingler VMAX to get knocked out, reattach those energies, and we are good to go. Kingdra recycle the ability every single turn with multiple copies of this card. So if they play Avery, obviously we have to discard. We can actually discard our Crobat, Lumineon, and Manaphy if we, if we want to have extra copies of this Kingdra on the bench. We have no choice but to discard our Manaphy. But it's okay because it's actually 150 HP. So we can actually survive a GMAX Rapid Flow. We can actually survive Jolteon. If they don't quick shooting Inteleon fast enough, we can survive those cards with 1 copy of Manaphy. No rods in this deck. No rescue carrier to recycle this card, I'm sorry to say. So it may be recommended to swap any one card for a Rod or a Clara or anything to recycle your Pokemon. Team Yell's Cheer. We have the new Team Yell's Cheer now to shuffle 3 in any combinations of Pokemon or supporter cards back into your deck. We can actually shuffle back our boss order as well with that card. So Team Yell's Cheer is interesting card to be playing for this deck. Or you can add your Rod Clara just to shuffle back your energy just in case they play Crushing Hammer, because we have no way of recycling this energy other than with the ability. So we don't actually need to recycle just because we are reattaching with this ability. So that means we just need to get 8 or 9 energy cards out into play, and then we can actually constantly reattach them with that Deep Sea King ability. And we have 12 copies to spare, so we can actually rely on all 9 to show up in the deck. If we have 3 stuck in the prize card, up to 3 stuck in the prize card, we are still good to go to do a VMAX knockout. So that's all for the list. Let's go ahead for gameplay. We also have 1 boss order, by the way, and our regular supporter cards. We have 2 Brunos, 1 Cynthia's Ambition, just because we are playing a 1 prize main attacker. But I would actually swap this 1 Bruno with another Marnie or Research just because we are playing a VMAX as well. So 1 VMAX and multiple 1 prize attackers. It's not a 1 prize deck, but it is a 1 prize attacking deck because we are attacking with Kingler first and then Kingdra. So we have also 3 copies of Marnie, 3 Research, and 1 Bird Keeper for the extra switch effect. We have 1 Escape Rope and 1 Bird Keeper for the switch. So we have no any other cards to do the switch effect just because all our Pokemons are only 1 energy retreat cost except for Kingler, and if we have Kingler in the active spot, that's actually good for us because we want to be attacking with this card to start with and constantly have it in the active spot so that we actually force our opponent to knock it out after using our Bubbles attack, attaching multiple energies so that we get to activate our Deep Sea King ability and then do our Aqua Burst as fast as possible. So Bubbles galore, make sure you attach all of your energy cards to your Kingler VMAX just because if we concentrate energy cards onto this 1 Pokemon, we can actually avoid a boss or a knockout, because if they boss or a knockout your Kingdra on your bench, if they try to kill 1 Kingdra at a time, then they're actually drawing 1 prize at a time while we're doing 240 damage with this VMAX, which is not bad. We just need 4 hits. If they kill all of our Kingdras on the bench, they're not doing enough. They need 3 Kingdra knockouts before doing the VMAX knockout. So if they don't play an electric type, they're gonna need 2 hits to knock out the VMAX, or if they don't play a 1-hit KO deck, they're gonna need a lot of damage just because Kingler does 330 HP, is quite high, but it actually does damage to itself though, so they may not need that much damage to do. They may actually, slow down the game by forcing us to damage ourselves before collecting the knockout at the last minute. So that's if they have enough boss orders, escape ropes, they can actually win quite easily. But if they don't do it fast enough though, we can actually knock them out with GMAX Pinsir, turn after turn, knocking out a VMAX with 2 hits. So all we need is 4 strikes with GMAX Pinsir to collect all 6 prize cards for the win. So if they kill Kingdra 1 by 1, they're gonna have to kill 4 cards. That means they need 3 Kingdras and 1 VMAX knockout. That's 4 strikes or even 5 strikes to win the game, and a lot of boss orders and escape rooms. That's going to be quite difficult to pull off just because you need to search for certain cards in their deck, and they can't actually do much damage with that if they search their deck that way. If they can't actually focus their cards on doing as high damage as possible, if they are trying to kill that many Pokemons on the bench. We have our Manaphy as well to protect our bench Pokemon. So that's all for the deck list. Let's go for gameplay with our Foam Fura. So let's go for the first one, up against a metal deck. They're playing a Corviknight VMAX. Corviknight. We got a Sobble coin for this deck. Our bubble Pokemon. Sobbing Bubble. And we got Horsea to start with. This list is actually quite different. So we have only one copy of Kingler VMAX for this deck. Because this is the early version of the list. We have Blunder Policy, 1 copy. We have 2 Glimwood Tangle, so this is actually a bit more different than the final version. As the game progresses, it's gonna be, it's gonna be more and more refined. So the final version, the most refined one, the strongest version of this deck would be the one with 2 copies of the Kingler VMAX, the one I just reviewed earlier in this video on the intro. So we got our Kingler. We got a research, that's great. They just helped us with the Marnie, that's perfect. But we actually need to use Smokescreen first, because we can't switch. We only have 1 escape rope. I don't think we have a Bird Keeper. I think we do. Yeah, I think the only difference is the Kingler VMAX. We swapped 1 for a Blunder Policy, and we actually have 2 copies of the V card. And we have 2 extra Glimwood Tangle, and that's all. I don't know what other... I think we have less Incense, just because we don't want to be evolving our VMAX unless we have to. So if we are flipping a coin, we are trying to flip 2 coins with that attack. Falling Bubbles, trying to get a heads for 5 energies. So if they knock out your V card, they only draw 2 prize. So this is actually kind of better if you flip a heads. If you don't flip a heads though, if you flip 2 tails with your Glimwood Tangle, Kingler is not going to help you attach energies at all. So that's why the VMAX, I actually prefer the VMAX, because you don't need to flip a coin. So they killed our first Horsea, which is bad. They actually did it though, which is quite a surprise. They actually managed to retreat with the VMAX, bypass the Smokescreen, avoid having to flip a coin by attacking with another Corviknight on the bench with the Ultra Ball. So we don't need the Manaphy anymore. We're just going to discard it with our Ultra Ball and then get our Kingdra for the Rare Candy Evolution. We actually forgot to play the Bird Keeper. We should have put our we should have put our Horsea as the active so that we get to play Bird Keeper this turn. But we forgot to do that, so we are forced to flip the coin right now. No Glimwood Tangle. We've actually got a heads, so lucky enough, we got a heads, 5 energies on the Kingdra. Sorry, the Kingler, so that we get to reattach to Kingdra. So we want them to target the Kingler, knock it out with Metal Saucer. If they knock out the Kingler, we should have concentrated energy on the Kingler though, because it only does 200 damage. We're not planning on evolving that card. We only have 1 copy of the VMAX for this list. So if we don't evolve, we can't actually knock out the Corviknight that easily. But 200 damage is not bad though. We got the Bird Keeper. I think we're just gonna Bird Keeper retreat. That's gonna waste our energy card count though. So we got our Seadra, which is great. We're just gonna attach that energy and then maybe do a Bird Keeper. I'm not sure if we want to do that though. I'm spreading my energies around for this game, which is actually not a smart idea. We should be concentrating our energy cards on Kingler so that they target that card, and then basically if they don't boss or kill the Kingdra, we have a lot of energy cards left in play. That means if they kill Kingler at any moment, at any one point in the game, all we need is that 1 Kingdra on the bench. You know, we just need 1 Kingdra on the bench to recover our energy cards onto the new Kingdra and then do Aqua Burst for 1,000,000 damage with that new Kingdra. So the best practice is to attach all energies to your Kingler with your Bubbles attack, either Falling Bubbles or Bubbles Galore. GMAX Hurricane, and they didn't boss or kill our Kingdra, which is perfect. Now all we need is Bird Keeper, evolve that Seadra, and we're good to go. We have to evolve the next turn, otherwise we can't survive. We should have attached, as you can see, we should have attached all to the Kingler. We could have done a Corviknight VMAX knockout right now if we have 1 energy. We don't have the energy though, which is fine. If we have an extra energy in our hand, we could have done the VMAX knockout. 8 energy cards on Kingdra, 320 damage with Aqua Burst. So it was a mistake spreading the energies with falling bubbles. So bad thing about that attack is that you're attaching so many energies from the deck. That means it's quite difficult to draw it into your hand after using the bubbles attack. That means if you don't do a research, it's quite unlikely for you to draw the remaining energy cards out from your deck, because you may even have a few in your prize card. So that attack is actually quite restrictive in a sense, because if you attach from your deck, then it's going to be a bit more difficult. Unless you have a lot of energies in your deck, it's going to be a bit more difficult to get them out into your hand. As you can see, we drew an extra 4 cards with their Marnie, and we still got no energies. And another one, still no energy. So let's get another Seadra. Sorry, I keep calling it Seadra. It's a Horsea. And all we need to do is bench it one at a time, evolve as fast as we can. And they just retreated. They decided not to attack. They cannot actually attack because the VMAX can only attack once. They don't have a switch card. That means they cannot recycle the attack. So they had to retreat and basically give us a knockout because they don't have enough Metal Saucer for Zacian. So Zacian is not able to attack just yet. Thank God, we actually got the first 2 prize. They haven't evolved that one, so we're forced to knock out another 2 Pokemons right now. The VMAX, if they don't play a Cheryl, we can actually kill the VMAX. And another V card is all we need. We just need 1 Boss Order at this point. So we just need to kill the Zacian and then Boss Order kill any one of the bench. If they play a Cheryl, I don't think they can avoid the knockout either, because we have 8 energies now. We got a Rare Candy, they haven't Marnied us. So Rare Candy is going to give us an extra Kingdra, which is crazy. We got 360 damage now, and we get to do 400 damage for our next Kingdra if we get an energy with Cynthia or Marnie. I think we're going to play Marnie. I don't know what we're going to play. We don't want to be benching our Kingler. If we bench our Kingler, we're going to give them the last 2 prize quite easily. So we want to be discarding the Kingler, I would say. But apparently we just discarded Marnie. We want to be drawing as much as possible. We should be getting the Crobat though. I don't know why we did that. And remove the Evolution Incense. So we didn't get the last energy. I don't think we have any more, because we used a few for the retreat. A few could be in the prize card. So we did 360, which is enough actually. We don't need to be that greedy. We got the Boss Order, which is the last card that we need. Even an Escape Rope. If they play Crushing Hammer, they're gonna need a few more hammers, like 3 hammers to prevent 3 hammers and a Cheryl to prevent a VMAX knockout. And even that is not enough because we have a Boss Order. So this was a really good game because we got the first heads with Falling Bubbles. That was the lucky shot. That was the gamble that we had to do with Kingler. That's why I prefer the VMAX, but you're sacrificing. You have to sacrifice the extra 1 prize for the VMAX. And if you play a Crobat, we didn't actually get to play. We didn't actually have to play our Crobat or Lumineon, which is a good thing. If you're forced to play those cards in any game, it's always a bad sign because you're giving your opponent that extra 2 prize. If they boss or knock you out. So we don't want that to happen. Crystal Cave, not enough heal. Healing is not going to do anything. We didn't get our Manaphy, so they can actually kill us on the bench somehow and prevent our ability from working, because the ability doesn't work if you get knocked out on the bench spot. Okay, that's all. That's the end of the game. We got our final knockout. We're just gonna boss order the Zamazenta just because it's the most annoying card ever, especially when you have a VMAX and you can't kill it. So we actually get to for this game, which is grand. So I prefer the VMAX just because you're doing 240 damage with your pincer, and you get to knock out a V card quite easily unless they play Zamazenta. So it's a one-hit KO for a V card, and you don't have to flip a coin for your bubbles attack. It's a, you know, guaranteed 5 energy bubbles attachment. Eyeless, they got a fighting coin. We actually got a celebrations deck box and a water deck sleeve, I think. The celebrations, just because that's the fanciest deck box I have in play. That's my fanciest deck box. I don't have any other versions, any other latest, anything else worth showing off. I don't have the EV deck box, the Rayquaza, the V deck box. I would love the Corviknight V deck box because it looks really good. Corviknight V and Noivern. I forgot the other one. It's not Noivern. Corviknight V and something else. Some other V deck box. Okay, we got a Ultra Ball for our Kingler. They're playing a single strike Urshifu. So this is a post-recorded version. I actually know what's about to happen, but I'll try to keep the spoilers to a minimum. So here comes the Urshifu. We're gonna quick ball, get a Kingler. That's probably what we were gonna do, right? I may actually forgot what we did, so there we go, Kingler, and attach the energy. It's better to attach the Kingler because if they play something like Clefable or Boss Order and Marnie or something like that, then you can't actually retreat. Galarmine as well, you can't retreat on the next turn. If they play Galarmine, it's better to retreat now, but if you attach to Horsea and retreat this turn, they're quite likely to do a Boss Order escape rope. So I would prefer to either attach the energy and not retreat, or attach energy to the Kingler, wait for the knockout. They're probably going to knock us out, right? They're probably going to kill the Horsea on the next turn with the Houndoom. Or maybe they might just do a laser focus. We got our quick ball. So playing Lumineon and Crobat actually helps save our hand. That's the reason I'm playing those cards. Even though you're giving your opponent extra 2 prize if they Boss Order knock you out, or Umbreon VMAX knock you out, you can actually search your deck early and save your hand. So accelerating your hand, accelerating your gameplay is actually a big plus. It's a super high plus for this deck because we are attaching energy. We want to be using bubbles as fast as possible, and that's actually gonna help us a lot. That's all we need to do, and then evolve Kingdra. If we can't get a good hand, if we don't get, you know, the Kingdra out fast enough, then we're done. We need to evolve our Kingdra at the same time as using the Bubbles Galore. If we don't do that together, then we are screwed. We have to have one on the bench, at least one Kingdra on the bench. They got their Umbreon out, which is super bad. Umbreon VMAX is gonna totally destroy us. So if they play the VMAX, if they play a Boss Order Umbreon, their only hope of winning this game, which is actually not too bad, their chances of winning is actually quite high, just because they have the VMAX ability. We got the first Kingdra, which is great. So we got a Bird Keeper. We don't need to play the Lumineon, which is awesome. We don't want to be playing that card just because we don't want them to... but we actually need to now, because we don't have the VMAX. We don't have the VMAX, so we actually need to play a Crobat, discard the research. So that was bad. I thought we actually had... I thought we could do it. I thought we could do the bubbles and evolve the Kingdra. So their only hope of winning the game is if they Boss Order 3 times. So they need to use Umbreon VMAX and 1 Boss Order. Target our Kingdra, 1 Kingdra and 1 Crobat for 3 prize, and then kill the VMAX as the last, you know, the last 3 prize draw, winning the game with 6 prize. Because they are forcing us to activate our ability at the last minute, and it's already end of the game. We can't actually use Kingdra anymore after the last knockout. So that's the, the main way they can win the game. That was a mistake. We should have concentrated all energies. We're actually wasting that one energy if they boss or knock us out the next turn. So always attach all energies to your Kingler to start with. That's the golden rule. Full on 6 energies, 7 energies if you go second. Sorry, if it's your second turn, and if you attach energy on your first. We actually have 7 energies this time, but 1 energy on Kingdra. Okay, here comes the second Urshifu. Marnie. So if we do GMAX Pincer, we're gonna have to hit twice. We're gonna have to hit it twice, and then try to kill the last VMAX with another Kingdra if it's possible. I'm not sure if it is. Okay, they didn't use a boss order, they used a Marnie. That's great. No escape room either. So we got 3 Horseas, 1 Kingdra and 2 Horsea safe on the bench. No Seadra, so we're gonna have to waste that incense. We can actually use a boss order, kill the Umbreon before they use the ability. But it's actually better just to do a Marnie, because Marnie actually helps us evolve faster. So I'm not sure if we should be worried about the Umbreon though, but Umbreon only gets us 2 prize. So we need to knock out 2 VMAXs to win the game. If we kill the Umbreon, we're gonna need to kill another one, which is not good. After the VMAX knockout, we're gonna have to kill another Pokemon. So might as well just target the VMAX right now. We're gonna use the Tower of Darkness. And we got a Rare Candy but no Incense. But we got a Kingdra though. We're being a bit too greedy. We already got a Kingdra. So the last one is gonna have to get... We're gonna need a Rare Candy evolution for the last one, because we don't have our Seadra inside the prize. Sorry, our last Seadra is in the prize. We actually discarded the Seadra already. That means we don't have any more Seadras, because we actually evolved the first one with... We evolved the first one with the stage 1. So the final evolution has got to be with a Rare Candy, but we don't actually need another Kingdra though. We just need 2, right? Unless they boss ordered, and they did it. They're gonna need 2 VMAXs after this. If they play another boss order though, they just need 1 more VMAX. They just need 1 Umbreon VMAX. So, as I said, they just need to kill the Crobat now. VMAX for the Crobat, and then we can't win the game. If they Umbreon VMAX for the Crobat, we're done. So they just need 1. Yeah. Because we're gonna have to attack with Kingler, right? We're gonna have to attack with Kingler, and they don't really need to do anything else. They just need 1 more boss order. 1 more boss order effect. We're so screwed. Because if we attack with Kingdra right now, we can't knock it out. We can actually do the knockout if we attach an extra energy from Kingdra. But we need to Rare Candy evolve the next one this turn if we want to knock it out with Aqua Burst. And if we do that though, we're gonna have to retreat, discard 3 energies from the Kingler, which is not good. So we're just gonna bench another Horsea, compress the deck, try to get our last Rare Candy. We don't actually have any more Rare Candies, which is super bad. But we got a Lumineon. We may just get the Lumineon for... I don't think we have the Lumineon, my bad. I think we discarded it already. We actually have it though. We should have gotten Lumineon for a Marnie, because we cannot afford to use Bruno, my bad. We cannot afford to use our research to discard the last Rare Candy. Okay, we're gonna do GMAX Pincer. There's really nothing we can do here, nothing else we can do. This is quite sad though, because They just need one VMAX. They just need one Umbreon VMAX. They're playing so many Pokemon though. They need Urn of Vitalities as well. So they may not get their VMAX in time. Crobat is weak towards fighting type as well. If we have our Lumineon, if that Crobat is a Lumineon, we can actually avoid the knockout with beat down. They are forced to discard all energies from the Urshifu, giving us an extra 1 turn because they only have 1 Houndoom on the bench. So that's the bad thing about Crobat. It's weak towards fighting type. And you have your Urshifu, Rapid Strike as well. And they just knocked out the active, which is great. That's really good news for us. And we actually won the game. That was really, really close though. We won against Urshifu thanks to, thanks to them not getting the Umbreon VMAX. We actually got a Urshifu knockout this turn. 9 energies, 360 damage. They got 2 damage counters on it as well. And they just conceded. So that was a win. So that's the bad thing about playing the VMAX. The recoil is that you have to sacrifice that extra price card. They can actually do 2 boss order and then that's it. That's all they need. 2 boss order and you can't use your Dipsy King. You can still use it, but it's not gonna work anymore. You can reattach, but it's already the end of the game. They're doing the Kingler VMAX knockout for the last 3 prize card, and that's already, the game is already finished. So Aegislash. Aegislash has a quite interesting attack. It actually does 130 damage to your Decidueye, so you can actually do Choice Belt. Sorry, Vitality Band to knock out the Decidueye. Choice Belt doesn't work for 1 prize cards. So 130, and you get to, you get to ignore all effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. That means you get to target Altaria, you get to target the new Escavalier as well. Escavalier actually reduces damage done by V cards done to it by 100 damage. That means your opponent's V card do 100 less, and you get to attach Big Charm to it as well. It's a stage 1, so you can't use Cape of Toughness. You can use your Coding Energy to avoid fire weakness. And we just spread our energies again, which is a weird play. We don't have a Kingdra though. I suppose that's why we are spreading our energies. We don't have a Kingdra out in play yet. So that's actually, smarter. It's smarter to spread energies if you don't have any Kingdras on your bench. If you have one, we just need one. If you have one in play, concentrate your energies on Kingler. We didn't actually did our VMAX evolution. So we go second, and it was our first turn, and we actually got a lucky heads. We got a lucky heads right there with falling bubbles. I'm quite happy actually. It's so satisfying when you get a heads with Kingler because you're attaching 5 energies. That's a very, very big boost. That's like an immense boost. And we got our Incense and Ultra Ball for double evolution. We can either do a double Seadra or a Seadra and a Kingler VMAX. We want to be doing the VMAX though, because they just gave us a Zacian knockout. So we're gonna target the Zacian. They're probably expecting us not to have a Kingler, not to have a VMAX in our deck. Playing Glimwood Tangle instead. That's why they offered the Zacian. Otherwise they would have offered the Zamazenta, right? Because Zamazenta, we can't knock out the Zamazenta with our Kingler VMAX. So Ultra Ball right now or Crobat? We're probably gonna Crobat first, and then Ultra Ball for a VMAX. We need Rare Candy though. We didn't get the Rare Candy, so we're just gonna Ultra Ball. Discard 1 energy. It doesn't really matter what we discard. We should have discarded both energies because we're gonna use a research anyways. We want to be saving the last spot for a Lumineon though. If you already played a Crobat, might as well just play your next. Might as well just play another V card on your bench. You know, might as well save the last spot for Lumineon, because if they knock out your VMAX, they just need to kill one V card and a 1 prize. So if they kill the VMAX and your Crobat, and your Lumineon is the same as killing your Kingdra for the last prize. So it doesn't really matter if you already played one V on your bench, just bench another one. Because we need Kingler VMAX as the active. It's always ideal if you don't have a V card on your bench. That's the ideal case. Nothing but Kingdra and Manaphy. Here comes another Aegislash. Zamazenta is actually protecting them this turn. I actually forgot that we cannot do damage to the Zamazenta V because of the Dauntless Shield. And I actually damaged myself, which was quite silly. Helping them knock us out faster. Which may actually be a good thing for us. You never know. We may just bench the Manaphy and do the Bruno. There we go, we forgot. We thought we could have knocked it out. We're helping them kill us faster so that we get to play our Kingdra. So they may just boss order though. If they boss order, we should do our Bubbles Galore this turn. If we have any more energy cards in the deck, we have only 12 energies, so we may not have enough for our Kingdra. They may just boss or kill it. So if we want to attack with Kingdra on the next turn, if we do Bubbles Galore, I'm not sure if we want to attach to Kingdra though. We should be attaching to Seadra because we don't have the other one ready to go. So if we attach the rest of our energies to the Kingdra, there we go, we got that one. We may not be able to Deep Sea King anymore if they boss order us. And we got no more energy cards in the deck. We got another one in our hand. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means 3 is in the prize card. 1 is in the prize card, my bad. 2 discarded. Okay. If we retreat, we're gonna be screwed because we're gonna have to discard 3 energies. We got the incense though, the last Kingdra. So that's great. All we need to do is wait for it to get knocked out. If they boss order, we got 2 Kingdras on the bench ready to go. They're gonna have to kill the Crobat and 1 Kingdra without the energies. Before targeting our Kingler, that means they need 2 boss orders. And they don't have the boss order, which is great. We should have done our GMAX Pincer just now on the last turn so that, you know, forcing them to knock it out on their last turn. Because we have 10 HP remaining, which is quite silly. So they just gave us that. Because if we drag the game out, they may just get their boss orders. So we don't want that to happen. They can actually drag the game out and, you know, prevent us from knocking ourselves. Prevent us from using our Deep Sea King ability, forcing us to knock out ourselves, knock out our own Kingler with the GMAX Pincer. If we kill ourselves with recoil damage, we cannot use the ability, obviously. So here comes Marnie, and we got our the first Kingdra Aqua Burst killing our Zamazenta. Another boss order in our hand. Another power card. First boss order, my bad. 320 damage, that's great. And they just conceded because we got 2 more Kingdras on the bench, dealing 360 damage for the next one. So this is quite a crazy deck. A high damage 1-hit KO deck. Very happy that the new Kingler actually gives us 5 energies. Speed and energy accelerating deck. So we got VIP Pass and a Quick Ball, which is great. Quick Ball is a hand saver because we got Crobat and Lumineon. If we go first, it's gonna save our hand. If we go second, they can play a Path to the Peak. So Path to the Peak completely destroys this deck because we can't save our hand anymore. We have no Stadium cards, no Glimwood Tangle for the final version, and I think this is the final version. At this point, I think it's already the final version. So we got one Seadra and we already have a Kingler, so we don't need a Kingler anymore. We're just gonna get two Seadras, and we're just gonna do a Crobat this turn. We can't evolve yet, so we're gonna be forced to draw with Crobat. We're gonna be forced to flip the coin for Falling Bubbles. We're just gonna draw with Crobat and play a support card. I think we already played the support card. We haven't played the supporter. I'm not sure if we want to do that though. But we can actually evolve, I think. Is it our second turn or our first turn? I don't think it's our first. I'm not sure actually. I didn't actually see that properly. If we miss the Seadra evolution, I'm gonna be quite mad. I don't think we did. I think we went second. So Chinchino is evolved. Here comes Drizzile. Yeah, we definitely went second. We definitely go second. We got a Rare Candy evolution for the next turn, and a Seadra for the next turn. We're gonna have to evolve to the VMAX. It's better not to evolve to the VMAX though, because we already have our heads. We already got a heads on the last turn, which is great. So we don't need that much damage against a Malamar deck. They're playing Malamar, Chinchino, Inteleon, Cynthia's Ambition. I think they need Octillery though. Octillery for their Evolution and Spiral Energy. I suppose they're playing Drizzile for Cynthia. So they have a lot of Pokemons going on here. They can't use Korrina's Focus because it's not going to get enough energies. So it's not going to get enough cards to do a one-hit knockout. So their strategy is to play the new Brilliant Star Cynthia's Ambition. So that means they need Shady Dealings for that. But Chinchino is good enough though, if you ask me. I don't think you need Drizzile. It's better just to have nothing but Octillery and Chinchino. Drizzle's gonna eat up your space, it's gonna waste your space in the deck. And it's not a Rapid Strike card as well. I don't think that's necessary. Okay, because you already have Chinchino, a non-Rapid Strike card is gonna eat up that space as well. And they're playing Turffield, which is quite silly if you ask me, because it's only one extra card. It's only one extra Rapid Strike card that you get to search from the deck. It's every turn though. If you don't play a Stadium card, they get to do it every single turn. So it's interesting, but I mean, it's the standard format. People are very likely to play Stadium cards. If you have like Duraludon VMAX or Eternatus, you need Stadium cards in your deck because they can play Path to the Peak. So Path to the Peak is very, very, very common in any deck in your standard VMAX decks, V-Star even. V-Star Stadium card, I'm not really too sure yet because it's quite new. I haven't experimented with those combos. But VMAXs has a lot of Stadium cards in them. Tower of Waters, Tower of Darkness even. So that card, that Stadium is not staying there for long unless you're lucky enough. We are not playing any Stadiums though, so we don't really get to scorn them. We don't get to insult them actually. Okay, we got Rare Candy, we got Lumineon. They are knocking us out this turn probably. So we need to evolve. Oh my god, they just gave us an extra attack, but we can't attack though. If we attack, we're gonna knock ourselves out. So if we want to attack, we have to evolve. If we evolve, we're giving them an extra prize for a VMAX knockout. So even with the turf field, they couldn't knock us out. So that's how useless that combo is. Like Chinchino Octillery would have knocked us out by now. If they played nothing but Chinchino Octillery, if they have 2 Chinchinos on the bench, they would have done it by now. A Kingler knockout, definitely 1000%. I'm very familiar with that card. I'm very familiar with the standard meta deck because I get schooled by them a lot of times. It's so annoying. It's so broken though. Malamar Chinchino Octillery alone, you don't need your Cynthia's Ambition, maybe 1 or 2 copies. You don't need your Drizzile. 1 or 2 copies of Cynthia and a lot of Karina's focus. Karina is still essential because you can't just draw with Chinchino. I would just play 1 copy of Cynthia really. 1 Cynthia, 1 Bruno, and 4 Karina's focus. Because Karina is a Rapid Strike card, and Chinchino actually gets to draw you extra. After you search for Karina, you can draw 6 and then evolve attach Chinchino for 4 more cards. You have to discard 1 though, so it's essentially essentially drawing 2 extra cards with Chinchino. So you're doing 240 damage, which is not bad with your Malamar. For 1 energy, that's quite ridiculous already. As opposed to only 160 as you saw on their last turn. 160 is not a lot. So I was deciding whether to evolve this turn, because if we evolve, we can actually collect a prize right now. We're evening things out. By... It's kind of the same thing though, if we evolve or not. If we evolve this turn, we can do a knockout, collect a prize. And then they can collect 3 prize on the next turn. If we don't evolve, we cannot do a knockout. They can collect 2 prize. So either way, they are 1 prize ahead. They are 1 prize ahead whatever we do. So might as well just evolve this turn. And then we got a Kingdra, which is great. We got our second one. And that, at least we get to draw a prize card, right? At least we get to get an extra card in our hand, because we actually get a really shit hand right now. A very shit hand. So since it's the same thing, we actually decided to evolve into the VMAX. And we're saving the energy for the retreat because we don't need that much energies anyways. We don't need to do that much damage. 120 is enough to knock out anything. So 240, we are doing 240 damage with 6 energies on Kingdra. So we're saving that 1 energy for the retreat. We just need to retreat Crobat if they boss or stall. They are probably not going to stall though, because they can do a knockout quite easily. If they don't do a knockout by now, it's going to be quite disgraceful. I mean, they have to, right? And there we go. You see how weak it is. Cynthia's Ambition Drizzile is not a good combo, because Drizzile is not a Rapid Strike card, and Chinchino is so much faster. Chinchino is just so much faster. They didn't get their Cynthia. They don't even have a Karina's focus. That's quite sad though. So we're just gonna escape rope retreat. The reason we did that is because we want to be targeting any one of their bench, because they have a key card on the bench. They can actually do the Drizzile though. Drizzile is actually one of their power cards. So Drizzile for Cynthia's Ambition, I did not realize that at the moment. But killing the Octillery means they can't actually bench another Inkay unless they do a level ball, quick ball on their turn. So they're gonna do the Drizzile right now. Here comes Cynthia. So we're actually giving them that Drizzile just now. We could have done the Sobble knockout, which is actually better, to be honest. But killing the Octillery actually means they don't have a bench Inkay. So it's not too bad. I don't think we made too big of a mistake. Okay. Just checking the discard pile to see what we have inside the deck. We got 1 Bird Keeper left. No more Lumineon. Bruno, one more Bruno, couple Marnies and research. 3 more Evolution Incense, which is great. So we just need to evolve the last Kingdra, because we got 3 prize left. So that means we need the final Kingdra for sure. They're probably gonna knock us out by now, right? If they don't, it's gonna be it's impossible. They got so many cards in their hand. There we go. So they're saving the number of cards. Let's hope we get a Marnie, because we're gonna reverse their Cynthia with that 1 copy of Marnie. I don't think we're gonna be that lucky though, because we only have 2 copies left. You never know. So we got 6 energies on Kingdra. We're just gonna attach 5 to 1, and the last one we're gonna attach to the other Kingdra. So they got 2 Inkays discarded. That means this is the 3rd one. Yeah, we're gonna attach the last one to the other Kingdra. We don't need that much damage, we just need 120. So if we don't evolve the final Kingdra fast enough, they can actually win the game. But we got 1 prize this turn, so we are top decking something. Let's hope we get an Incense. We didn't get an Incense, that's bad. We got Ultra Ball still, I think. 1 more copy. 1 copy of Ultra Ball, 3 Incense. There we go, we just check our deck. 1 Ultra Ball, 3 Incense, and 4 supporter cards to draw. So that's a total of 8 cards we need to top deck on the next turn. 8 out of 19 cards. So let's just compress the deck and increase the chances of us getting our Incense by using the Quick Ball. We're gonna Quick Ball, discard the energy. We should be discarding the Quick Ball because we have no other basic Pokemons in the deck. I did not realize that. So we're just gonna save the energy for the retreat as we said just now, and Aqua Burst for a prize card. So we need any one of the 8 cards out of 18 from the deck on the next turn. And we got a Marnie, that's great. We got a Marnie from the prize. That means we get to, you know, increase the chances of us getting those cards that we need. We're definitely going to be able to evolve on the next turn, even if they Marnie us our final Kingdra, or, you know, on the next turn at least. They can't actually attack this turn, so we actually have an extra turn, a bonus turn, to get our Kingdra out. They're giving us so many turns though. Unless they play like a Raihan. 120 damage is not enough though. They can attack with Inteleon, but it's still not enough. They can actually Quick Shoot to collect the knockout the next turn, draw 2 prize on the next turn. If they get like double Inteleon, they can do Raihan and Quick Shoot this turn up to 140 damage on our active Kingdra and 20 damage on our bench, because we don't have a Manaphy. They can actually Quick Shoot the bench, my bad. Quick Shoot the bench. Oh, they can't, because they are doing 120. They are spreading the damage with the, I forgot the attack, with the Inteleon, Shady Dealings Inteleon. So if we have a Manaphy, they are doing 0 damage to the bench, and they had to Quick Shoot the active if they want to knock it out on the next turn. And they just tried to stall us. There we go, balls on the stall. We have an energy prepared. I think we have 1 last energy in the deck for the last stall. We have 18 cards left, they have 16, but they have a lot more cards in their hand. That means they can actually deck us out. If we use a Marnie, they can deck us out since they have more cards. They are shuffling cards every single turn back into the deck. They have rods as well. We have no rods in this deck. So they definitely have more cards inside. And they can actually choose to deck us out. So we have to be very careful. Get our last energy card. I'm pretty sure we have the last energy. We're just going to discard everything else. Oh, we didn't actually choose. Okay, they conceded. They conceded. I'm pretty sure we have the last energy inside the deck. We checked it just now. So we just need the last energy for the last retreat to collect the last prize card with the final Aqua Burst. Okay, right now we're up against a Charizard deck box, deck sleeve. I think it's a fire deck. I'm not too sure actually. Okay, we got a Crobat to start with, not good. But here comes the VIP pass and a level ball. We got a level ball for another Horsea. We're gonna get our Kingler with the VIP pass. We may just keep the level ball for Seadra on the next turn. We got 2 VIP passes, look at that. Double VIP. And we're just gonna get, I'm not sure if they have a bench snipe deck because they have a Oranguru. So we're just gonna save our level ball just in case we need Manaphy. We're gonna get a Kingler and a Horsea obviously. And save the level ball for Manaphy at the last minute. We're gonna attach to Kingler and then level ball, ultra ball, research on the next turn. We actually need a Seadra and a Kingler VMAX, and then all we need is an energy to retreat and we're good to go. So it's a Charizard VSTAR, the new Charizard VSTAR deck. Experience share on the Oranguru, quite interesting. But I think they're trying to compress their hand to play a Crobat on the next turn or something. Okay, we got a Seadra. We got an energy already, so we're just gonna... we should have done... Yeah, we got a bit impatient there. We should have done... Because it's more difficult to get your Kingler VMAX than your energy card since we have 12 energies. But we actually got the Incense, so we don't need to worry about it. We have 4 Incense and 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Kingler VMAX, 12 energy. So that's a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ways of evolving your V card and 12 energies in the deck. So that means we have 10. Yeah, 10 energies left if we attach one and discard the other. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 1 in the hand. So we got all 12 in the deck actually, none in the prize card. All energies inside the deck. And they're done because we're playing a water type. They're so done. We got the first 5 energies, the first Kingdra, Seadra as well. They are so dead. We got a supporter card, another energy. So this one actually has a Glimwood Tangle. So it's actually, you know, it's a weird volley here. The list is actually differing. It doesn't stay the same apparently. My bad. Because I actually, you know, I actually arranged the recording differently. It actually gets better and better. It actually, you know, slowly changes into the final list. Actually sharpen it is slowly changed, so they conceded. Quite interesting, because they're playing a fire type. It's kind of obvious who wins there. We're hitting the weakness. They have no weakness guard. So the deck list actually becomes more and more similar to the final version, the one that I just reviewed earlier in this video on the intro. But just because I arranged the gameplays a bit different, because I want to show different games first, just because they are more important to show, like the meta decks. I want to show Malamar first before I show the Charizard, because Charizard was actually quite fast. I want to show the Corviknight first, the metal deck first, because they were actually more intense compared to the other gameplays. So arranging those gameplays actually messed up the progression. So as the game progresses, I actually change the list, you know, hone the list, sharpen it until it becomes more and more closer to the final one, the final version that you saw earlier, which is the one with 2 copies of the VMAX and no Glimwood Tangle, 0 Glimwood Tangle, no blunder policy, and more Incense and Ultra Ball as well. Okay. We get to do our falling bubbles. My bad. We get to do bubbles galore because it's our second turn. And Marnie as well. We got a Manaphy, but I don't think they're sniping our bench. Pikachu VMAX and Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko is the only one with a V card. Isn't that sad? There's no Tapu Lily, Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini V. I don't think there's a Tapu Lily at all. There's actually a Tapu Fini, Tapu Bulu 1 price, Tapu Koko 1 price, but there's no Tapu Lily at all. Interesting, isn't it? Psychic type. I'm pretty sure though. I'm actually quite uncertain about that. Sorry. We got one Kingdra, which is not good. We should be benching a few Horsea by now. But we didn't get our VIP, didn't get our double ball, quick ball. We're gonna be forced to do a Bruno on the next turn. Let's hope they don't knock us out. They can actually do a retreat switch. Retreat Dynamotor switch to knock us out. If they kill our Kingler, we're done. Because we only have one Kingdra on the bench. No Horseas. So all they need is one Flaaffy, one switch card, and one energy discard. But they need an extra energy in their hand though. So they need 4 pieces. 4 pieces to be able to attack with Tapu Koko. They got retreat, they got incense. The first piece, Flaaffy, no Flaaffy. So that's a Pikachu instead. They could have a level ball though. So no research, no nothing. They gave us 1 extra turn, which is great. Should we do an escape rope? I don't think so. Because they're probably just gonna offer up another Flaaffy, another Mary. We're just gonna do Bruno this turn. Bruno for 4 cards. We got supporter, that's quite a surprise. No Horsea though, that's quite bad. GMAX Pinsir, obviously, we don't need to use Bubble. If we don't use Bubble though, we're gonna need to attach from our hand 2 more energies to kill the VMAX. And I don't think it's that easy because we have a few cards left in the deck. So let's just do Bubbles right now. And attach 10. If they knock us out, we have 1 Kingdra. I don't think it's a smart decision though. We should have just done if we do the knockout, they can still knock us out the next turn, right? They just need 1 Flaaffy really, to be honest. They just need 1 Flaaffy. But if they discard 2 energies and get 2 Flaaffy though, they don't need an energy anymore in their hand. We got the Rare Candy, but no basic. Can you believe that? We got no level ball, no Horseas on the bench. That's quite miserable. We better be getting a Horsea at least. There we go. Finally, we got a Seadra Kingdra. So it's gonna be quite a while before we can evolve it to the stage 2. We want to be benching more Horseas on this turn. We got a VIP. Way too late showing up. Any turn but the first turn is way too late, right? VIP. That card is so annoying. Because if you don't get it on your first turn, it's gonna be stuck in your hand. It's gonna be it's gonna be a dead weight. It's gonna be a dead weight on your hand. Throughout the entire game is useless. It's a useless card. Can't do it for anything. You can actually use Cram-O-Matic to discard it. It's an extra, an extra resource for your Cram-O-Matic. Or your Ultra Ball. Extra resource for your Quick Ball as well. So quite interesting actually. We got Incense, but we just need to discard it. We don't need to play that. We got Kingdra already in our hand. So we're gonna Crobat for another Horsea. Okay. Are we gonna play Bird Keeper? Research? We're just gonna keep our hand because we got a Rare Candy for the next turn. Rare Candy, research for a double Kingdra evolution on the next turn if we got another Kingdra from the 7 draw. Okay, we got 10 energies. Look at that. They just use a Bolton um, Electrify, which is like the slowest way of charging up their Pokemon. But we're using Bubbles Galore, so we don't actually have a right to insult them. Kind of the same strategy. We're attaching 5 energies though with the VMAX. They're only attaching 2 energies. But they can keep recycling, and all they need is 2 energies, right? They don't need that many energies. They just need 2 energies in the field and recycle them constantly with their Dynamotor, and they're good to go. So we got 10 energies, look at that. They knocked out the VMAX, giving us 10 energies on the Kingdra. If they kill the Kingdra with a boss order, we got double Kingdra on the next turn with the Rare Candy Research. So Aqua Burst is going to kill them this turn. We have to use Rare Candy. We're just going to compress the deck, get rid of those cards. We don't need those anymore. We're just going to discard them. We have to get the final Kingdra. We're not going to bench the Horsea. We might as well just discard it. Rare Candy. They actually gave us a V knockout. That means we just need you know, the final knockout. We can actually kill the Pikachu because we have 11 energy cards. So we got 3 Kingdras in play. That's great. I don't think we have any more switch cards though. So if they boss order us, they can actually deck us out, but they may not, you know, they may not anticipate us having no energy cards left and no switch cards left either, because we just discarded Bird Keeper and Escape Rope. That means they can actually win by doing a boss order stall. Can you believe that? If they have the foresight, they can actually do a boss order the Crobat and then not attack for 6 turns straight. They can actually win that way because we have 6 cards left in the deck. They need to be smart enough to anticipate that though, because we can very easily pull off another Bird Keeper switch if we have it inside the deck, but we don't. Realistically, we can't actually win if they do that. An Escape Rope even is going to destroy us, but they're probably going to knock us out though. They're probably going to try to knock out the Crobat or something to draw the 3 prize. But if they knock out anything, they're done. They can't knock out anything. If they knock out the active, we have Deep Sea King. If they knock out the bench, we have the Kingdra ready to go. So they can't do a knockout. It's impossible. They have to do the boss or the stall. No boss order, there we go. I think they're doing an energy switch because they actually attached, they actually didn't have Air Balloon. They didn't use the Tapu Koko. They should have done the Tapu Koko retreat. I think they benched it too late. So no Air Balloon, they have the Air Balloon way too late. They have energy switch instead to save them. And here comes the Beast doing 440 damage to knock out the final VMAX. We don't even need the Escape Rope, the boss order. I don't think it's necessary to play boss order for this deck, but if you have it early though, you can actually use Gmax Pinsir to target a Crobat on the bench. Gmax Pinsir for Umbreon or any VMAX that's waiting in the winds on the bench. You can actually do it, you know. It's gonna help your Kingler VMAX. It's not gonna help your Kingdra that much because they're probably gonna, you know, use their main attacker to kill your Kingdra. And if they do that, you have your bench Kingdra ready to go to kill their main attacker. So we won against, what did we win against? I actually forgot what deck they played. Pikachu, right? Pikachu VMAX. Sorry, I got a bit blurred. Blurred out there. Electric type deck. We're actually playing against our weakness. Electric type, Tapu Koko and Pikachu. No flying Pikachu though. Flying Pikachu is so annoying. It's mad annoying, especially if you're playing a full basic deck, a basic one price attacker, Flying Pikachu destroys that deck completely because they're playing the G-Max Balloon. If you don't escape rope boss enough times, you can't win. So they're playing Victini. Victini with a water deck box, deck sleeve. Victini is actually quite strong right now because we have Magma Basin for max victory, doing 220 damage to your V Pokemons, V-Star as well. If you have 2 energies attached, if you have a Magma Basin. There we go. They're actually playing a Charizard as well, a Leon's Charizard with Victini VMAX. They may not have the VMAX, you never know. They may just have the V card for energy spread, spreading flames, and energy burst. They can actually slowly charge it up on the bench with Magma Basin and Raihan Experience Share on the Charizard. Slowly Magma Basin every turn to do 1 billion damage with energy burst at the last minute. Because if you don't kill the Charizard, they're gonna use Victini. If you kill the Victini, they're gonna use Charizard to do 300 damage. With Choice Belt, 330 damage. Can you believe it? Charizard is broken. Charizard is quite broken now. Okay, we got a quick ball. We're gonna get Kingler. What are we gonna discard though? I have no idea what to discard. Let's just discard the Bruno. We may just use a research anyways, because we have so many Kingdras. 4 copies of Kingdra in the deck. I don't think it's that big of a deal to discard the Kingdra, but we may need to be worried about discarding the boss order. We could have evolved Kingler if we done it, if we bench it on the last turn. So we were checking if we attach our energy cards. We haven't attached the energy yet because it's our second turn. We want to be attaching to Kingler, so let's do Crobat research. We can actually boss the Charmander, knock it out. Oh, I think we did that. We actually did the Charmander knockout. Interesting. They haven't done the Magma Basin though. No energy discarded, so that's great. They can actually do a retreat on the next turn and Victini to kill the Seadra. So that's actually quite risky because they have Magma Basin. They just need to Air Balloon the Manaphy and then Energy Burst, knocking out the Seadra with 3 energies. 3 total energies on both active. Okay, we're gonna have to waste Kingdra on the next turn. We can actually play Bruno though, instead of the research. But we may not get good cards if we do that. So Bruno is always annoying. If they don't knock us out this turn, we're just gonna escape rope and save that 1 energy. We cannot afford to discard too many, just because we have no recyclers for this deck, no energy recycling cards, no Rod at all, no Clara, no Nessa. The reason being we want to be fitting as many Kingdras as possible, doing a Rare Candy evolution as fast as possible, helping us, increase the chances of us doing a Rare Candy early on in the game, so that we get to Deep Sea King as fast as possible. Speed. We want to trade everything for speed, right? Trade all of those shuffle cards, all of those safety cards for the agility, the evolution agility. Okay, no Rare Candy, that's fine. We got 1 though. No VMAX. No VMAX, that's horrible. At least we got a Seadra. Okay, we're gonna have to use Falling Bubbles. Let's hope we get a heads. Come on, heads. Yay! We got a heads. And we should actually be spreading our energies. For this rare occasion, we should have spread our energies to the bench Kingdra because they have Energy Burst. If we spreaded our energies, we could have done 1 hit. We could have strike once with the Kingler. So if we have 3 energies, they have 2 energies. 150 damage is not enough to knock us out. So now they can actually do the knockout because they have 8 energies now. 240 damage. We just gave them a free knockout, which is stupid. That was quite silly. We should have spread our energies. Don't spread too much though, obviously, because if you spread too much, you're just gonna... we should have attached to the bench Seadra, so that if they kill the Kingdra, we still have the the other Kingdra to evolve on the next turn. Yeah, that would have been smarter. Attached to the Seadra, 3 energies, and then 1 on Kingler, 4 on the bench Seadra. There we go, they killed us. And here comes Charmander. Charizard is getting ready to go on the next turn. They just need Air Balloon on the Manaphy, Rare Candy Evolution, and they are good to go really. 150 is already enough. They just need the Charizard, the Rare Candy Evolution. They got already 1 Leon discarded. So Kingdra is not surviving. We should do Rare Candy and Marnie. So Rare Candy whenever you can, because the Seadra can actually evolve quite easily. Let's just do the attachment. We should be saving our energies for the retreat though, because we don't have that many switch cards in this deck. And let's hope Marnie is helping us destroy their hand, because if they don't do their Rare Candy, if they don't have an Air Balloon, they can't knock us out with Charizard. So our only hope is to stall them this turn, get another 2, and all we need is another 2 Kingdra. We got 1 already. We got a Kingdra in our hand, so we're already good to go the next turn. We just need to hope that they don't kill us this turn. If they kill us this turn, we can't win anymore. If they don't, then it's a sure win for us. It's a sure win for us because we have 3 attackers, 3 prize, and that's it. The game has ended if they don't evolve. Let's hope they don't play a Crobat. If they do Crobat, we're done. Bidoof, okay. Bidoof, Bibarel. They're playing so many Pokemons though, so many different Pokemons. Manaphy to guard their bench. Manaphy is a basic, so it's fine, but Bibarel is a stage 1. And I don't think you get to play Victini if you are supporting your Pokemon with your Bibarel. Charizard Chinchino is already bulky as it is, so I don't think you get to play an extra Pokemon if you are doing a stage 1 supporter. Stage 1 supporting Pokemon, my bad. So we've done our Bird Keeper retreat. And that's it. That's the end of the game because they just gave us that 1 prize. If they kill Kingdra on the last turn, it's gonna be quite difficult for us. It's not impossible though for us to win the game if they kill Kingdra on the last turn, because they need to bench Charmander, they need to evolve stage 2 Charizard. They need to do a lot of things actually. But it's quite easy though. Once you get your battle sense, everything becomes very fast. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time and have a great day. Bye for now, lovely people.